Welcome to Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
And I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
It's Halloween. How can I not be good?
Happy Halloween, Jesse.
Happy Halloween, my brother. It has been a weird October.
It has been.
We obviously had plans to do bonus episodes, which will come.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have to delay because somebody decided to get sick instead of going to Edmonton, Blair.
That's actually you, Jesse. I went to Edmonton. It was a blast.
I got sick.
Yeah, you did.
I've been sick for about a week. I'm still trying to get over it. Heartbreaking when I had to message you saying, my dear friend, my dear Blair, I will not be in attendance this evening.
I know. I was pretty upset. I was looking forward. We've been looking forward to Edmonton all year. On a positive note, though, we do have tickets for the Lights Out event. Hopefully,
next weekend.
You'll good enough to go to that. And then once we get that out of the way, we'll do a bonus episode.
Absolutely. We did Dark, the other haunt that we tend to go to on the Friday night. And maybe about an hour and a half into Dark, I was not feeling it. I was not feeling well. And then it's all been downhill since then. But I'm glad that we're going to Edmonton next weekend.
Yep.
And then we will have that bonus episode out right after that. But everything is a little bit delayed, including this episode. And it wasn't really intentional, or maybe it was.
Kind of intentional.
We wanted to have something on Halloween. We are recording this on Halloween night. We were briefly discussing how our Halloweens have been going. Blairski, you've been bombarded by trick-or-treaters tonight.
Man, I'm almost out of candy. I just refilled my bucket for the last time.
Now
it's empty. It's gone, man.
Let me ask you, were you snacking on treats before Halloween?
The last few days, I might have had a few mini chocolate bars.
That's the thing. If the candy's there, you can't just walk by it and not have one.
And I would also like to have some left over, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, you got to have lunch, right? You got to have lunch. I haven't had as many as you, but I've certainly had more than I did last year.
It's a
grand total of one.
Yeah, we had one last year. I had a few last year, but way more this year. That being said, the trick-or-treating is still going on right now.
Yeah.
So if you hear a doorbell or dogs barking in the background, that is why.
It's been maybe about an hour since we've seen our last trick-or-treaters, so we actually did turn off the light.
Okay.
But if the doorbell rings, if you hear a shouting, there you go.
We usually turn off our lights later, probably around like 9 o'clock is when we turn off our lights, but we keep, of course, as we'll talk about in this episode, we keep our jack-o'-lanterns lit all night long, baby.
Of course, it's a big rule. It's a big rule. It's kind of bittersweet. I mean, October is my favorite month of the year. I think I can speak for you as well that it is, it's at least in your top 12. It's bittersweet. It's clearly one of the longer months, and I felt like it just flew by.
It did, man. It did. And it doesn't help that you got sick. That doesn't make any matters better.
I had a remount of my Fringe show, The Silence of the Lambs Jr. last night, which thank you to everyone who came out. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Which you also had to perform.
Yeah, you know what? It went really, really well for the first half, and then I started, and the whole show went really, really well. But about halfway through, I started realizing that I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
But we got through that. The audience was great. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad, man.
But we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about our final pick, our final movie for the month of October, a month where we have been focusing on movies that take place around the Halloween season. And Blairski.
Yeah, buddy.
We're talking about one of your absolute favorites tonight.
Yeah, we are. I'm pretty stoked.
But before we do that, what do you say we chat a little bit about some horror news? This is horror news. Blairski, you got some horror news?
Just two pieces this week, Jesse. After 2 years, roughly 2 years of me and you talking about it, Phasmophobia is finally out on consoles. Today on X, formerly known as Twitter, Phasmophobia also announced that they officially surpassed 20 million copies sold.
Wow.
Which is pretty wild for an indie video game like Phasmophobia.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. I purchased it earlier today. It is currently downloading. I'm hoping to get in a quick little game with you after this.
Yeah, I want to play around with you tonight, and then maybe tomorrow night we'll stream it together.
All of this maybes. He keeps saying maybe we'll do it. Come on, Blaski.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We're doing it. I must say I was a little shocked with the price tag.
What was it? $25?
It was $30 after tax, which is okay. It's certainly a lot better than $90 that most of the digital games are, which is a crime.
Yeah, it is a crime. That's still hefty, man. When I bought Phasmophobia, it was when it first came out for PC in early access, like 2 years ago now almost. And I think I paid $8 for it.
I'm excited. Nonetheless, for as much as we shit talk this game, I am very excited to play it. I've only played it a handful of times, being not a PC player myself. And every time I've had a blast. So I'm really looking forward to finally being able to play it with you.
Me too, man. I'm looking forward to it. So
absolutely.
Excited.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The last piece of horror news I have is Terrifier 3, which we've talked about a lot this month. This will probably be the last little bit of news for it in a while that I'll have anyway. But it has officially become the highest grossing unrated movie of all time, which is congratulations.
There you have it. Yep. I mean, we had talked about its opening weekend being enormous. Good for them. Good
for them. I actually rewatched it with Rachel because she wanted to see it. Yeah. She really liked it, surprisingly. I didn't think she was going to, but she really liked it. She also liked it better than the second, at least anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it more than the second as well, which isn't saying much, but it is what it is. Oh, goodness. I've got some horror news here as well. I first of all want to start by saying this isn't even really horror news, but it's something that I'm really disgusted with.
Okay.
Blairski, on my way home from work, I'm listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Getting into the Halloween season. It's the 31st of October. I'm hoping to see some Halloween or hear some Halloween music on the radio. I hear a little bit. I hear Donovan's Seasons of the Witch. Yeah, I hear a cover of one of the songs from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
And then I turn to Mix 107.9.
Okay.
And what do I hear?
Christmas music? Don't say it.
Christmas music.
I knew you were going to say that.
I hear Bruce Springsteen's Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And I say, okay, that's a one-off. That's a one-off. I know there's a Bruce Springsteen biopic in the make. That's a one-off. So I go back to Donovan's Seasons of the Witch, and I go back to Mix 107.9, and I hear it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
No, man. We haven't. Halloween's tonight. You got to go through Remembrance Day still.
Wait until, that's the rule. I mean, we don't even put up a tree till middle December.
Yeah, I know a lot of first at least.
Yeah, I know a lot of the rule is wait until after Remembrance Day. It is October 31st. How dare you? Don't ruin this for us. Don't ruin this for us. Wait until November. We'll give you a month and a half. We'll give you 2 months. How dare you? This is our holiday.
Yeah. Today is Christmas for us.
Absolutely. Sorry for my rant.
No, man, it was
not believe it.
I agree. I totally
Where did they get off? Anyways, back to horror news. I've got a few pieces here. It's official. The original Goosebumps TV series is now streaming on Tubi.
Hell yeah.
The television show, which ran from 1995 to 1998, based off of the best-selling book series by R.L. Stine, ran for 74 episodes and featured such episodes as Go Eat Worms, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, Piano Lessons Can Be Murder, and Say Cheese and Die. I haven't checked it out yet, but I watched it a little bit when I was a kid. I'm excited to check it out.
I loved that show. It was a back-to-back Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark on YTV growing up.
Yes,
and that
it was
my jam all day. I loved that.
Loved it. Loved it. So Tubi, I think Tubi's free too. So
it is. It's got ads, but whatever.
Yeah. And then finally, director, we had talked about this yesterday, director Kyle Edward Ball. Local gentleman from the city that we live in is who directed the hit movie Skinamarink, is set to direct his next film called The Land. I have The Land of Nod here written down.
That's it. That's what it's called.
Is it? Okay, perfect. Yeah. And he is joining forces with A24.
Good for him, man. Good for him.
Unbelievable. Well deserved. I mean, Skinamarink, unexpected sleeper hit. I think it made over $1 million at the box office. Well done. And A24, everybody's favorite film company at the moment. I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than that.
No, and I think they just won a Fangoria Chainsaw Award for Skinamarink as well.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Very, very cool. I mean, everything is very hush-hush at this point on the film itself, but very cool to see a local director seeing such success, well-deserved success. So cool for Kyle Edward Ball. Keep it up. That's wicked.
Congratulations for sure.
Yeah. That's all I have for horror news. What do you say we jump into our final review of October?
But it's a good one.
It goes to 2007's Trick or Treat. Runtime on this one, 1 hour, 22 minutes. Blairski, initial thoughts on the runtime?
Doesn't get much better than that.
Right in the wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun facts.
Fun facts. Facts that are fun.
Blairski, you got some fun facts for Trick or Treat?
I do. I got a few, so bear with me. This was Michael Dowdtree's directorial debut.
Oh, okay.
This is his first movie. He's done a lot since, so a pretty good first movie for sure.
Absolutely.
It was filmed in not quite my hometown, but very close to it, Vancouver, BC.
Yeah,
which is awesome. The kid with the lollipop in his mouth, who peeks on the girls when they're changing in the dressing room, that's actually Quinn Lord, who plays Sam throughout the rest of the movie, and who we met at the HorrorCon, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you have his autograph.
I do indeed, yeah. And we went to his panel as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of the jack-o'-lanterns were made out of either foam or ceramic, and then they had an on-set joke that no pumpkins were harmed during the making of the film, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
The final fun fact I have is all the performers on the bus, that bus scene under the masks, they were actually had real disabilities or injuries. But apparently they all had an absolute blast during filming.
That's what I read as well. Everyone had a really great time, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah, absolutely. I've got a couple here to add on to that. This is big for horror movies, but apparently every single death occurs off camera. So they're either obstructed by something, or the camera cuts away right before the character dies, which is honestly, I applaud that, because that is a difficult thing to do in a movie where quite a few people die.
We'll get to the kill count, but it's pretty high. And for not seeing any of the kills, it's a fairly bloody movie.
It is. It really is. Yeah. Again, a lot of it is implied. And implied horror is very difficult to achieve, but I think this movie does it well. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
And then finally, the shoot was 40 days, 40.
Okay.
Yeah. I not being in the film industry, I don't know if it seems relatively quick.
That's
a month and a bit.
I feel like the average is probably 2 months, around 60 days, I think. So
4, 5, 6 weeks, maybe. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about the fine folks who worked on Trick or Treat. Of course, directed by Michael Dougherty. Dougherty.
I say Doherty. That's how I say it.
Doherty. Okay. Also directed 2015's Krampus, of course, and 2019's Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Okay.
Written by Michael Dougherty. Also wrote 2006's Superman Returns, 2016's X-Men Apocalypse, and the new Hellraiser TV series that is in development.
Okay, cool.
Those are some big series, man.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Lots of comic books, lots of classic characters, Godzilla. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, starring Anna Paquin as Laurie. Also starred in 2000's Almost Famous, 2000's X-Men, 2011's Scream 4, 81 episodes of True Blood, and 1993's The Piano, which she won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress at the age of 11.
Bravo. I love Anna Paquin. I think she's great.
Absolutely. Underrated. Blair, at the age of 11, I didn't know how to tie my shoes.
Me neither, man. It's wearing Velcros.
Yeah, I still thought the moon was made of cheese. I was an impressionable young youth. And then there's Anna Paquin winning an Academy Award. I was still collecting participation ribbons. Oh, goodness. Also starring Brian Cox as Mr. Krieg. Also starred in 2002's The Ring, 1998's Rushmore, 1995's Braveheart, and in 39 episodes of the hit TV series Succession. That was a big show, HBO.
It was. Yeah.
Also starring Dylan Baker as Steven, starred in 2008's Revolutionary Road, 23 episodes of Murder One, and Owen in 1987's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, one of the greatest comedy movies of all time.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. I haven't seen it in years, but it's hilarious.
So good. R.I.P. John Candy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, starring Quinn Lord as Sam, starred in 21 episodes of The Man in the High Castle, and has appeared in roles in Supernatural, The L Word, Stargate SG-1, Smallville, Fringe, Once Upon a Time, and The 100. Nice little resume there.
Yeah, not bad.
And Blair has his autograph.
I do. It's behind me, actually.
Yes, you do. Okay, synopsis for Trick or Treat, courtesy of our dear friends at IMDb. 5 Halloween stories. A principal has a secret life. A virgin is looking for her first time. A group of kids pull a prank. A woman who loathes Halloween does not respect the rules, and a mean old man meets a demonic trick-or-treater.
I like that. I love that synopsis, actually.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah. Okay, this leads us to one of our favorite segments of the show, Kill Count.
Kill Count. The time of the show we count the kills.
Blairski, we got a kill count for Trick or Treat?
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, it's quite high, especially for a movie that doesn't show any of the kills. Yeah, we have a kill count of 27.
Wow.
Trick or Treat. Yeah, man.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, quite high.
Very high. Very high indeed. Okay, this leads us to likes and dislikes.
Likes. Dislikes. Likes. Dislikes. And everything in between.
The portion of the show where we chat about what we liked, what we didn't like, and then everything in between. Blairski, where would you like to kick it off? Would you like to kick it off with the kills?
Yeah, I mean, the kills are fine. As I said, it is quite a bloody movie for not showing any of the kills. I can just, for example, the very first kill.
Yeah.
It's underneath a sheet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. We don't see it, but that sheet turns from white to red pretty damn quick.
Yeah, it is ruined.
Yeah, it's ruined. So it is quite a bloody movie, but yeah, you don't see really any of the kills. I do, however, like Sam in particular. I like his weapon of choice being a sharpened jack-o'-lantern sucker.
Yeah, I like everything about Sam. I mean, Sam is a unique killer. He is kind of a breath of fresh air. He's got this unique weapon. He's got a great mask, great costume, and then I mean, what's underneath the mask is excellent.
It's downright frightening, is what it is. It's
Yeah,
like
it really, really is.
looks like a pumpkin alien.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good. Yeah, absolutely. I just really loved, yeah, cool weapon, mask, excellent. Even unmasked, almost better.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree.
I really love the intro in this one, even before the actual movie start. The comic book style,
Yeah.
it just was giving me huge creep show vibes.
And I have that exactly written down just as
Yeah.
you said it. I loved it. Yeah.
I loved it. It was so cool, so unique, and it made me curious if Trick or Treat was ever at any time made into a comic book or a graphic novel, because I would love to read it.
You know what? I'm sure there is something out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. There has to be. I know at the very moment, Michael Dougherty is in the works to make a second one, a sequel.
Yeah, he's been trying to get a second one greenlit for a while. I know it's something we've talked about in the past, and certainly something that I'm sure a lot of people, ourselves included, would love to see. But I'm not really sure what the holdup is, especially in the age of remakes and sequels.
No, I mean either, and such a like so many people love this movie, especially around this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely,
it has become over the years the Halloween staple.
100%. Yeah, I really loved it. I love. I mean, you know me. I love anthologies.
Yeah.
This one is really cool, where it's non-linear, which is really neat. We'll sometimes see characters from other stories in the background of the current story, which is really, really cool, kind of placing it all in one town or one area, which is really neat. And then, of course, with anthologies, you're obviously going to run into portions of the movie that you like better than others.
Yeah.
The one that really stood out to me was the school principal and his son carving the jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, that's my favorite of the 5. I think it's 5 stories. That's my favorite of all 5 of them, is that one. Followed probably by the werewolves. I like the
I mean, the werewolves was great. And the werewolves, you really see some great prosthetic work, some great special effects work with the shedding of the human skin.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, but that is so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
What I really liked about the principal and his son is I found it to be the maybe the most twisted, but also the funniest.
It was the most comedic, and definitely the most twisted. And it also was kind of shocking because you didn't really know what was coming next in that one.
Yeah, Dylan Baker as the principal was great in this movie. Really, really great in this movie. I thought for the most part, the acting was fine. I thought it was good.
Yeah, the acting was good. Even the kids, which like the prank that the kids pulled, that's probably my least favorite.
Yeah,
out of all of them, but the acting even in that one was good. It was everyone was good in this movie.
It just gets a little bit confusing, that one. I think you kind of lose track of where the story is. I mean, it's right in the middle of the anthology, where I think with most anthologies is maybe where you lose a little bit of interest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that's maybe the weakest of the lot, but the acting was still fine in that. And of course, everyone I mentioned above, Anna Paquin, Brian Cox, Dylan Baker, all great.
They were so good. My absolute favorite thing, honestly, about this movie is the aesthetics. I love how festive this movie is. I don't think there's a single scene in this movie that does not have a jack-o'-lantern in it.
Which is great. I mean, it's Halloween time. You got to have one.
This is my favorite movie to watch on Halloween, for sure. It is.
This movie, and we'll talk about it in Lessons We Learned, but I mean, it really hammers home that even Halloween has rules.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I love that. The reveal of Sam, I know we had mentioned the jack-o'-lantern face, but I mean, the hand as well. The pumpkin tendons. How cool was that?
It's so cool. I love the character of Sam, man. It's just, we need to see more of him.
He's kind of like, if the movie is a pool, Sam is the lifeguard. Sam is the one enforcing the rules.
Yeah.
Whereas Sam appears anytime a rule is broken.
Anytime a rule is broken, anytime someone dies. So he's not necessarily the main antagonist in this movie. Like he doesn't kill he does definitely kill people, but he doesn't kill everybody. But every time someone is being killed, he's there. Sam's around. He's in the background. He's watching from a distance.
And he's not just killing them for shits and giggles. He's killing them because they broke the rules.
Yeah.
All you have to do is follow the rules.
That's it. Follow the rules, people.
That's it. Come on now. Although the more Sam started appearing, the more I started second guessing or trying to remember, wait, what rule was just broken? What rule did they break? But it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah. That's when you start overthinking shit.
Yeah. Maybe because it was Canadian production, it did feel at times like an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode.
It did, but to me, it was in a good way.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, as Canadian kids, Are You Afraid of the Dark was a masterpiece.
Yeah, it was.
So I don't think it's a bad thing. It has a visual aesthetic to it. It has its formula. And it just, at times, it felt a little bit like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
It did. And in that kind of same sense, even though this movie's from 2007?
2007.
It has a nostalgic feel to it.
Yeah.
It feels like an older movie to me.
How much do you want to, I know that there, people dying left, right, and center, but I mean, that town seems like a ton of fun.
Oh man, it seemed like Mardi Gras or something was going on there Halloween night. I would love to be there Halloween night.
A small town. Apparently, a lot of those scenes with like the crowds and stuff were shot with people who that's what they do every Halloween. Is they do huge parades like that, huge parties. That's
in
where
Vancouver too.
I believe so.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know if everything was shot in Vancouver or some of it was shot in the suburbs of the city.
Yeah. Vancouver, the Vancouver area is
I'm
massive.
thinking the greater Vancouver area. I imagine that a lot of it, because a lot of it did have a small town feel. I'm thinking that a lot of the film was probably shot in the suburbs.
Yeah, it seems that way anyway.
Absolutely. What else did you like about this one or not like about this
we've
one?
talked about pretty much all my likes I have written down. I love this movie. I'm pretty biased, to be fair.
Yeah.
I do have one negative. And that is, to me, this movie, it starts off so strong. But the problem lies is it starts off stronger than it finishes. It kind of goes backwards. There's some movies kind of have a slow start, but then it gets better and better, and then usually has a great finale or something. This was the opposite. It had a really, really strong beginning and kind of died down at the end.
Yeah, I don't know if I was to, and I don't know what the right run order would have been. But I think if I was to make it, I might have moved some things around because I agree. I felt like the beginning was really, really strong, and some of the stories, and usually it's the longer stories that feel not as great.
Mm-hmm.
I keep going back to the kids scene.
Yeah, that was a
longer
story.
scene. Yeah,
the werewolf. I found the werewolf story was a longer story too, but it was a good one.
Yeah, and the werewolf story kind of runs throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
As does Dylan Baker's character, the principal.
Yeah. That
kind of character runs throughout the whole movie. We keep coming back to that.
Yeah.
As the whole nonlinear idea I really like. Yeah. You want to move along?
Yeah, I've covered everything.
Okay, let's jump ahead to our next segment of the show. Lessons we learned from watching 2007's Trick or Treat. Lessons we learned from watching. Insert title of movie here. The segment of the show where we talk about the valuable life lessons we learned from watching said movie. Blairski.
Yeah, buddy.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah, so all I've got written here are the 4 rules of Halloween, which I'm sure you probably have written as well.
I do.
So, rule number 1, always hand out candy to trick-or-treaters.
Yes.
Rule number 2, always wear a costume.
Yes.
Rule number 3, never blow out a jack-o'-lantern before midnight.
Yes.
And rule number 4, a very, very important rule, always check your candy.
Always, always check your candy.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got a couple more here. Well, trick-or-treating, always stay on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm. Safety first.
Never trick-or-treat at a stranger's house, which is a little bit difficult because most of trick-or-treating is done at a stranger's house.
Yeah.
But if you must, never trick-or-treat alone.
No.
And to add on top of the never blow out a jack-o'-lantern, wait until November 1st to take down Halloween decorations. Or if you're Mix 107.9, wait until November 1st to play Christmas music. How dare you?
How dare you?
Shame on you. That's all I learned.
Oh,
this leads to our next favorite segment, Line of the Night.
Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night.
The segment of the show where we discuss our favorite lines from the movie. They might give us chills. They might give us the giggles. All we know is that they are our favorites. Blairski, what do you got for Line of the Night?
Just a couple, man. Charlie Brown's an asshole.
Yeah.
Said by Billy Wilkins, which I thought was hilarious at the time. And we just reviewed Charlie Brown, so I thought it was quite fitting.
With that attitude, Billy fits in right with the Peanut Gang.
Yeah. He totally does.
They all hate Charlie Brown for some reason I don't understand.
Last line I have is, I think I saw Coach Taylor in a hot dog costume, butt fucking a pig. Said by
Dear
Chip.
Lord.
When they go trick-or-treating to one of their teachers' houses and there's like a sex party or something
Swingers
going on
party,
in there.
yeah. The language on these trick-or-treaters, dear Lord.
I know, right?
I've got a couple here. Let's carve a scary face this time.
Mm-hmm. Creepy.
That's said by Billy. Great line. Really great line. And then finally, I've got an NRA membership in my pocket and a shotgun over my fireplace.
Yeah.
That was by Mr. Krieg. Goodness gracious. Okay, this leads us to our final segment of the show. Some might even say it's in our top 5.
Yeah, that is tonight anyway.
Blairski, celebrity lookalike time.
Celebrity lookalike time.
The time of the show where we take a look at the cast and discuss their celebrity doppelgangers. Spoiler alert, it usually comes down to the character's hairstyle. Blairski, what do you have for celebrity lookalike time?
I just got one and it's horrible because I realized I fucked up. So I don't
think it could get any worse than it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown when you said it. Charlie Brown looks like famous serial killer Ed Gein. I still don't see the resemblance, Blair. I still don't see it. It must have been that skin lampshade Charlie Brown has.
I'll send you a side-by-side shot.
Dear Lord.
But this is what I got. So I was going to say the character Charlie looks a lot like the kid from Bad Santa, but it is
it's the same
kid. So spurring off that same kid, he kind of looks like a younger, slightly heavier set Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay. See, I can see that. Charlie Brown is Ed Gein. I cannot. But
I'm going to send you a side by side, man.
I can definitely see Napoleon Dynamite. I've got a couple here. The character Stephen Wilkins reminds me of Frederick C. Little, aka father of everyone's favorite mouse, Stuart Little. And then, of course, the character Sam reminded me, for any PlayStation fans out there, reminded me of Sackboy from the video game Little Big Planet.
Okay.
It's just a sack.
Yeah, they look alike. Yeah. You're totally right. Yeah.
Okay, this leads us to our final rating for 2007's Trick or Treat. Blairski, out of 5 gluttonous trick-or-treaters with terrible costume choices, vomiting what appears to be Vegemite, What are you giving Trick or Treat?
I'm glad you told me that one prior to this, and I wrote it down. This is my favorite movie to watch on Halloween. I love this movie. It is nearly perfect. I am giving it 4.5 out of 5.
Whoa.
Yeah, 4.5 gluttonous trick-or-treaters with terrible costume choices, vomiting what appears to be Vegemite out of 5. 4.5.
There you go. I was expecting high, and you did not disappoint.
Nope.
I'm actually going to go a little bit low.
Fair.
I just found myself, like you were saying, started so strong, and I felt myself a little bit bored in the middle section, but I'm going to go 3.5 gluttonous trick-or-treaters with terrible costume choices, vomiting what appears to be Vegemite out of 5. This is a really fun movie.
I love it, man. For me, like as I said, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely around Halloween. And the only things for me stopping it from getting a 5 out of 5 is it died off for me.
Just a little bit slow. Yeah, just a little bit slow.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. A great way to end off this month that, believe it or not, is already over.
I know.
It's tragic. It's tragic. But the good thing about Halloween is it comes every year.
Let the countdown begin, man.
Let the countdown begin. Again, we still have a bonus episode that will now be coming in November.
Yeah.
Really excited for that. But until then, this has been Review Set Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Remember to stay scary.
And eat every sandwich. Bye.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you for listening to Review Set Scare. Make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/reviewsetscare. That's linktr.ee/reviewsetscare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsetscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich.